good. Okay. All right. Well, so what I'd like to do tonight is we'll start like we usually do. We'll start with our chanting, raising bodhicitta, getting grounded, arriving, and then I'll guide you in some movement. We'll do a little movement tonight. The warm-ups, seated warm-ups, many of you have done before. I'll guide that. And then we'll go right into meditation. All right? And then we'll do the Dharma talk at the end like usual. Does that sound good? You guys like the movement? Yeah, sometimes Kevin's like, that was great, but I kind of missed the movement. Okay, let's weave it back in from time to time. Don't worry, it's not like a big yoga class. It's just some seated warm-ups. We're just rolling the joints, and not those kind of joints, but these kind of joints. The neck joint. Okay. Some of you are new. I had back surgery about 7 months ago. I'm still healing, so I might lie down while I guide the meditation. I might need to move a little more than normal. Sciatica, I call it my dragon. You know, it's nice when the dragon sleeps. Sometimes the dragon wakes up. You have to breathe. So that's my physical. If you notice, I'm shifting. It might be a little bit of that happening. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and close our eyes, take some breaths. It's kind of like spiraling down with each out-breath, finding our way home, back to the belly, back to the body as we breathe and release tension with the out-breath. And just beginning by checking in, how am I right now? What's here right now? Before you try to fix or change anything. Mindfulness meditation is very much about learning to be with whatever is here right now, whether it's pleasurable or unpleasurable or neutral, rather than changing or manipulating our circumstances to make everything just right. And in that way, it's an edgy practice. It's an invitation to mature into the truth of your experience in this moment. Like, can you be okay with it? Can you welcome it even, whether it's pleasurable or painful or in between? So this habit of just checking in as soon as you sit down, taking a few breaths and then saying, how am I doing? What's here? And allowing that to be here. Noticing the subtle judgment behind it maybe, or a pushing away or clinging onto it. That secondary layer that we often put on top of our bare experience. We notice that. And then often it's taught with the out-breath, release that grip around it or pushing away from it with the out-breath. Let the out-breath be your teacher, your guru. Feeling of letting go. Then the inhale comes back around and we recommit to being with what's here right now. And we set off on this journey together, aligning our hearts as much as possible with this heartfelt, let it be heartfelt, not contrived, feeling of opening to the possibility that we practice not only for our own benefit, but for the benefit of others. This is why we're here. May we be whole, heal, find a place of refuge within ourselves so that we can be a refuge for others. This is bodhicitta, this spirit of awakening. May I be of benefit in this world, large or small, in any way, whatever your gift is, even if it's through a smile, a gesture. And we can also acknowledge our lineage, the teachers, the guides, the mentors who have sustained us, inspired us, fed us with knowledge and wisdom, giving thanks, gratitude to your lineage, what brought you here in this moment, on this cushion right now. Giving thanks to your ancestors, those who have given the conditions for your existence even. It's acknowledging that. The karmic line, the biological line. And that brings us into this moment of situating ourselves in this moment on this land, acknowledging those who have stewarded this land, who came before us, situating ourselves on Lizjan Aloni land, and giving thanks and remembering as much as we can. Something happened here, continues to happen here, and this is a part of our practice of aligning with reality in a sober, honest way. And again, if people are tuning in on YouTube, acknowledging the land that you're on, giving thanks to the earth spirits, the water spirits, the air, the fire, the space, all the elements, everything that gives, sustains, and takes away. It's from this space of expansive bodhicitta that we chant this prayer to the goddess in the form of Narayaṇi, Great Mother, or even just the universal source, absolute dimension. If you wish, if you need to, you can open your eyes and gaze upon that handout with the prayer at the top, the Narayaṇi Prayer from the Devi Mahatmya. She's linked to the Great Mother in many forms, but from the Tantric Buddhist perspective, she's likened to an expression of Tara, female Buddha of compassion. Narayaṇi is more of a Hindu goddess, but in the ultimate level, none of that really matters. The prayer says, I bow to Narayaṇi, the goddess who takes away the afflictions of all. She is the refuge of the downtrodden, and she is the very act of turning toward the Supreme. So we'll chant it 3 times tonight. I'll offer one line, you can repeat, we'll do that, and then we'll do 3 times together. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha, Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha, paritrāṇa parāyaṇe, paritrāṇa parāyaṇe, Sarvasyārti hare Devi, Sarvasyārti hare Devi, Nārāyaṇi namostute, Nārāyaṇi namostute, Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha, paritrāṇa parāyaṇe, Sarvasyārti hare Devi Narayaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Narayaṇi namostute. Śaraṇāgata dīnārtha paritrāṇa parāyaṇe. Sarvasyārti hare Devi Narayaṇi namostute. Okay, so now we'll do some movement before we sit. Pretty much everything can be done on your cushion. It's good like that. Okay, so the first movement we'll do is with the feet. So we'll start at the base and we'll work our way up the body and then down the body, you'll see. So sitting up as nice and tall as you can. You can use your hands to your side or behind you to help prop the chest. I don't usually emphasize this, but it's a nice thing to do to train the spine to sit up nice and tall and lift the chest a bit, shoulders down. Flex the feet. Try to flex the feet. And then point the right foot, left foot, right, left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then turning to your left, we'll do 10 reps each direction. 1, 2. Yeah, if you're in a chair, it looks like you good? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Look, you're building strength. Jordan, that's a good one. Yeah. All right, let's pretend this is 8, 9, 10. And reverse. 1, 2. Lift the chest. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now, take your right foot, cross it over the left thigh. Take your hands, if you can, if you're not wearing socks, you can, well, if you're wearing socks, you can take them off. If you don't feel comfortable taking them off, that's fine. If you can, weave the hands between the toes. If you can't, you can just hold on top of the toes with your left hand, yeah. Your right hand is holding the ankle. Let's do 30 reps tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Faster. No. Stay with my rhythm. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You can palpate up and down the calf if that feels good. 29, 30. Reverse. 1, 2. Really massage your calf. Feel the tender places there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Can you hold your foot? 19, 20. Over the toes. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. It's a lot easier to crank it that way. It's like an old car. You're cranking an old car engine. You want to stimulate the lymph and the blood movement out of the lower extremities. Okay, good. Other side. So it's the left foot that's crossed over the right thigh. It's your right hand that's holding the top of the foot or interlacing between the toes. Stabilizing with the left hand on the left ankle. And crank it. 1, 2. Crank it up. 4. You can just breathe naturally. Stay with me here. If you can't do it, you okay? All right. Yeah, everybody take care of their own body. If something's not feeling right, you don't have to do it. I like to squeeze the ankle too. Sometimes that feels good to get the lymph and the blood circulating out of the ankle. And reverse. 1, 2, 3. Keep the breathing nice and steady. Because when we sit in meditation, the lower extremities can get stagnant. It's important to move it. Yeah, 9. And let's say that's 30. All right. Straighten. Now shake out your knees. Good. Bend your right knee. Take the hands behind the knee and start to palpate like this, the back of the knee. So you're loosening up the tissues behind the knee. And while you're doing that, just like this, Marianne, like this. And then the thumbs are going to massage around the sides of the knees. Because the knees can take a beating when we sit a lot, right? So it's nice to warm them up. Make sure they're open and loose and not holding tension. Now work your way down the back of the calf, the shin, then back up. And then really palpate the hamstrings as you work your way up the back of the thigh. You feel those? As you really can tell, it's stringy. Hamstrings. It's where the sciatic nerve lives. All right, other side. I had the good fortune at a conference years ago to do a workshop with BKS Iyengar, one of the godfathers of, Hatha Yoga, especially the West. Coming to the West, he wrote Light on Yoga. How many people know who Iyengar is? Yeah, he's great. He was very old at that point, but he taught us to do this. He said, before you get into lotus, before you cross your legs or do lotus Padmasana, always check in with your knee. Make sure it's all right, because you don't want to regret it later. Work your way up the back of the leg. I like to kind of go to work across, kind of flossing. You feel that? You kind of floss the hamstring, floss the nerves. Good. All right, straighten, shake it out. Now cross again like before, right ankle over the left, interlace again, or just hold the tops of the toes like you did before. This time you're going to take your right hand and reach behind the thigh. Then you're going to bring this shin parallel with the floor. Yeah, sit up straight. Yep. And then you're going to stir the pot. 1. Hold the back of your thigh. It'll help. Yeah. 4. We'll do 10 reps. 5. This is for the hip joint. Very nice. Good. 9. 10. Reverse. Let this be a core thing too, and strengthening the paraspinal muscles, sitting up nice and straight. Good. 9 and 10. Other side. Hold the back of the thigh. I want to make sure everybody's got this move happening here. Good. Other. Yes, there you go. And then you're reaching around the outer thigh. Yes. See? Feels better, huh? Okay, sit up. Yes, and stirring. We'll go clockwise first, then counterclockwise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you feel that in the hip joint? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How are the chair people doing? It's a little harder in the chair, huh? All right, good. And 10. Relax. Good. So now you're going to cross your legs in any comfortable position, or you can sit zazen too, okay? Easy pose, Burmese pose. So Burmese pose is like this. So you're not crossing anything on top of the other. That's one way. Or easy pose is this. Or if lotus is easy for you, you can do lotus. So just take a comfortable cross-legged position or sit up nice and tall in your chair. All right. So take the hands on your thighs. We're going to work the joints from the upper part of the body back down to the hips. Release the chin down and start to turn the head to the right shoulder, slowly rolling up and around and down, like you're drawing a circle on a mirror with your nose. 2. We'll do 5 reps. Take it easy on the neck. Just give a little stimulation there, releasing tension. Make sure the breath is moving down into the belly. And 5. And reverse. 1. Listening to your body, not pushing, listening and following the cues of your own body, not trying to be like anyone else. 4, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. And 5, coming back around. Inhale the face to neutral. Exhale here. Now take the palms of your hands and press the crease of your hips. It's like you're really trying to dig in with the palms of your hands there. And then relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Good. Forward, up, down, and back. 1, 2. We'll do 10 reps. 3, 4, 5. Keep the breath happening. 7, 8, 9, 10. And reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll come right to the wrists today. Interlace the fingers right in front, and make sure the wrists are right in front of the eyes. Don't be like this or like that. Right at eye level, chin down. And then the forearms are kind of close to each other. They don't have to be kissing, but they're parallel. Relax the ridge of the shoulders, sit up nice and tall, and start to rotate the wrists. Double time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let the wrists hypnotize you. Gaze at the wrist and reverse. 1, relax the jaw, the face, the shoulders. Breathe into the belly. 8, 9, and 10. Now release the hands and we'll helicopter the arms to the right and the left. Right, left. The front hand taps the front of the shoulder. The back hand taps the kidney point. Let the head go. So we're stimulating the joints in the spine, the spinal column. Let the movement be as large or small as you like, whatever feels good for you. Listen to the body. Do 10 in each direction. Let's do 4 more. 2, 3, and 4. Now, hands to your thighs. Roll the navel around in circles. 1, 2, 3. Again, the movement can be very subtle and small, or it can be larger, whatever feels good for your hips, for your low back. The chest is somewhat calm and like stationary. See if you can isolate the movement more in the navel. It's like you're stirring the hara, the chandali, the kundalini at the base of the spine, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Coming to center, exhale. Now waving forward and back like seaweed in the ocean. 1, 2, 3. Really loosening up the tension along the spine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Coming to center, exhale. Now, inhale, take the arms out to your side. You can keep the chin down, touch the fingers, you can bend the elbows if you need to. And then exhale, press the energy down through the core of the body. We'll do 2 more like this. If you know Ujjayi breath, slowing down the breath, you can implement that now. Inhaling. Let's hold the breath in for a moment as we move the hands down. And then as the hands pass in front of the face, start to exhale and really feel like you're packing the prana, the energy, the chi down into the hara. Good. 1 more. Inhale. If it feels good, you can also raise the face. And then chin down like a kumbhaka, holding the breath. And then exhale when the hands pass in front of the face. Good. This time we go all the way down. We walk the hands along the floor and come into a forward fold. Really make sure you root the hips back. Don't let the hips come up at all. So you can even leverage with the hands and the arms straight. You don't have to come down so far. Really work with your edge, with your body. We'll take 5 breaths here. Releasing the neck long. If you can, bowing the forehead to the floor. Releasing tension through the hips, the low back, the belly. And then slowly coming up. It's a little challenge here at the very end. I'll show you this. You don't have to do it. Doesn't have to be in lotus. I can show you a couple variations. I think even the chair folks can do this. So you're going to take the hands either on the chair, pressing down, or thumbs forward if you're on the zafu. Inhale, just watch, don't do it yet. And then exhale from the navel, engage the core muscles and lift the knees and then look up if you can. We'll take about 5 counts like that and then come down. It's great for the belly. It helps to traction the low back and create space. If you're not locked into lotus, that's fine. It's a little different, but it's still good. Just uncross your legs, and as you exhale, you'll lift and you'll really just work the core, and it's going to look like this. So you're not lifting the legs off the floor. It's pretty much impossible. So same thing if you're in a chair, just see if you can lift your hips up off the chair and engage the core. It's going to build your inner heat. Yeah. Okay, so let's try. Very nice. Yeah. Can you make the pillow go away? Yeah. Is that okay? All right. So place the hands. Inhale. Exhale. The core engages. You lift off. And then look up if you can. 3, 4, 5. And then slowly come down. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Do your variation. 3, 4, and 5. Coming down, we'll do 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, come back into it. 1, yeah, looking up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now, what we do is we come down, and you can let the feet uncross if they were crossed. Then follow me. Inhale, cross the arms, and then shake it out. Exhale. 2 more like this. You're bowing like a sheep. Shake the chest and the heart and the lungs. Inhale. Good. That concludes our seated warm-ups. Okay, so maybe now you're a little more lubricated and comfortable. The prana's flowing. Now we're going to sit. So I've let you move. Now you can't move. You have to sit in total stillness. Or at least, that's the idea. But we don't want to be stiff. But any fixing or yogic mentality of shifting and adjusting, that can take the background now. And set yourself up for a comfortable seat. Do what you need to do. Get an extra pillow, blanket, whatever you need. Lying meditation, seated meditation, standing meditation, walking. Those are the 4 primary postures. It's not only sitting. In this class, I think it's best if we don't walk while everybody else is still. So the first 3 are fine. It's up to you. Allow the eyes to close once you feel that you're settled into a good place. And become aware again. How are you feeling now? You feeling a little more warmth? a little more fluid, maybe more relaxed. But whatever is here for you, just noticing. And then becoming aware of the breath, feeling the natural breath flowing in and out of your body. And what we'll do tonight is we'll start with an intentional pranayama practice, and then we'll consciously let go of it, release control of the breath, and feel the contrast between kind of controlling and enhancing the breath, and then completely letting go of any control of the breath and feeling the difference. So I'll even ask you about it at the end of the meditation to see how that was for you. So pay attention to that. This simple pranayama is basically just a 4-count inhalation, a 2-count retention, and a 6-count exhalation. Classic structure that helps to balance the vagus nerve, calm the nervous system, prepare us for deeper states of consciousness. If that ratio doesn't feel good, you can shorten it by a count or lengthen it by a count, but that's the basic structure. 4, 2, and 6. So let's feel first, as we inhale, feel the belly expanding out. And as you exhale, feel the belly drawing back. Again, simply inhaling and noticing how the belly expands forward, maybe even growing into the chest expanding. And then as you exhale, the chest deflating, the belly drawing back towards the spine. So we're not doing the counting yet. We're just feeling this inhale as the belly fills and expands, metaphorically. And the exhale as the belly draws back towards the spine. So it's like you're filling a pitcher of water with the in-breath and you're emptying a pitcher of water with the out-breath. So now let's all align the breath with an exhalation together. And then now slowly begin to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding gently. 1, 2. Then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like you're floating here for 2 counts, like a balloon. And then exhale, descending. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Float. 2. Then release. 2, 3, 4. Let it last. 6. Inhale. 1. Staying relaxed. If at any time you feel tense, just let go and breathe naturally. Hold in. 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Slowly. 3, 4. Holding. 2. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'll just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. 6. Spacious. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on your own for a couple minutes. Three more rounds at your own pace. With the last exhalation in this pranayama phase, it's like you're just dropping off of a cliff, but a blissful cliff into space. Now let go of any control of the breath and just let the breath be on its own natural flow. And feel what that's like now. Releasing that control, just riding the waves. If the breath is long, let it be long. If the breath is short, let it be short. Let go of any control. Keeping the mind tethered to the flow of the in and the out breath, but not in a tight way, in a spacious way. But don't drift so far that you lose the object of mindfulness completely. Stay with the natural in and outflow of the breath, releasing distraction as soon as you notice it. Come back to the flow of the breath. And then now we'll take a step further into the path of more a diversity, let's say, of meditative practices. We're moving more into the domain of Lojong, mind training. In the Mahayana and Vajrayana traditions of the middle and later vehicles that are all founded on the beauty of the early traditions of Theravada and so on. And like in all of these streams of beautiful wisdom teachings, devotion is a very key element to opening up the flower of our own realization. It's like the moisture, the rain, or the morning dew, and then the sunlight that nourishes the lotus flower. And one way of doing this is to feel a devotion towards a teacher or an archetype or a guide. It doesn't have to be an embodied human being. And so in meditation, this practice, it's called Guru Yoga, but without the hang-ups of the name Guru, okay? It's just more of like honoring this wisdom, power, and blessing that is in a sense beyond us, right? We all have a sense of this benevolent, perhaps even energy. It doesn't have to be any thing or person. So in the beginning, we imagine that this mentor, teacher, guru, or benevolent spirit, whatever that is for you, could be Buddha, could be Mother Mary, Allah, Yahweh, Jesus, Krishna, Padmasambhava, Tara, angel, any of this wisdom being. Imagine that this wisdom being that you feel close to, inspired by, appears above the crown of your head, sitting on a lotus upon a moon disk, just above the head, a body of light, radiant, face happy and smiling as they regard all beings with a non-referential compassion that includes you. It can even be like an orb of golden light, like the sun above you. And feel that in this energy, in this being, this spirit, all of your teachers from all the different lineage paths are contained within this one energy, this one being, just filled with that wisdom. And with strong respect, heartfelt devotion, a longing, I'll offer a prayer, a classic prayer found in the Lojong teachings. They say you can repeat this short prayer 100 or 1,000 times in each sitting, but tonight we'll just do a few, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, we'll see. I'll offer the prayer and let it echo within you as if you were saying it, if it feels right to you. I pray for your blessing, O teacher, great and completely worthy spiritual friend. I pray that you will cause love, compassion, and bodhicitta to arise in my mind. I pray for your blessing, my teacher, my guide, my protector, great and completely worthy spiritual friend, Kalyana Mitra. I pray that you will cause love, compassion, and bodhicitta to arise in my mind. I pray for your blessing, my teacher, great and completely worthy spiritual friend. I pray that you will cause love, compassion, and bodhicitta to arise in my mind. And then imagine that this being descends now through the aperture, the crown of your head called the Brahma aperture, descends down through your central channel and sits in your heart chakra in a pavilion of light, like an open shell. And feel that glow, the warmth and the love radiating within you, merging your mind with the enlightened mind of the Guru. And with that warmth and luminosity, awareness in your heart, we now move into the main body of the practice, returning now to the breath, cultivating concentration and presence, mindfulness as the breath flows in and out. In the Lojong teachings, they say count to 21 breaths as a way to stabilize the attention and bringing about shamatha, calm abiding. The common way for that is to inhale, count 1, and then exhale. So moving at your own pace now, from 1 to 21. If you lose track, no worries, just start again. No problem. Let this be a gentle, spacious anchor for you to come home to yourself with the breath. And now from the foundation of the devotion and the shamatha of the breath awareness, we take a step further into the trajectory of the Dharma, supported by the early, middle, and latter developments of tantric practice and Buddhism, reaching this spacious sky-like domain of Dzogchen, the great perfection teachings that bring about an expansive view, a natural state, a recognition that in fact there's nothing to do to make ourselves worthy or better, deserving of enlightenment. And one mind training or Lojong slogan that brings us to this domain of the Dzogchen teachings, Great Perfection or Mahasandhi, is one of the early Lojong slogans that says, examine the nature of unborn awareness. Examine the nature of unborn awareness, or we could feel more observe or recognize the nature of unborn awareness. Not a mental, conceptual examination, but a meditative inquiry, a looking and experiencing that ground. And the common technique is taught by Padmasambhava, the great tantric Dzogchen master who brought these teachings to Tibet in the 8th century, instructs us in this way. So now come with me into this domain. He says, cast your gaze downwards. So now if the eyes are closed, gently open them and cast your gaze downwards at a comfortable angle towards the floor. Soften the gaze as if you could see 360 degrees around you. Relax the face and the muscles behind and around the eyes. Now gently release your mind. And without having anything on which to meditate, gently release both your body and mind into their natural state. Having nothing on which to meditate, and without any modification, place your attention simply, without wavering, in its own natural state, its natural limpidity, its own character, just as it is. Remain in clarity and rest the mind so that it is loose and free. Remain in clarity and rest the mind so that it is loose and free. And then from time to time, within this loose and free natural state as much as possible, the instruction is to alternate between observing who is concentrating inwardly and who is releasing. From time to time, ask, who is concentrating? Who is releasing? If it is the mind, ask, what is that very agent that releases the mind and concentrates the mind? And steadily observe yourself, and then release again. By so doing, fine stability will arise, and you may even identify unborn awareness, primordial consciousness beyond birth and death. Chittattva, mind itself, not a conceptual mind. The non-conceptual mind of Rigpa, awareness, unborn awareness. Look and release and rest, spacious, clear, limpid, and free. If the eyes grow tired, feel free to blink, close them, rest for a moment, then gently open again. This may be new to you, that's fine. Play with it. Soften the gaze. It's as if you're gazing into the space of the mind itself. Who is meditating? Who is releasing? Look, release, and rest. Did you befriend unborn awareness? Did you shake hands? Hi, nice to meet you. Finally come. Accepted the invitation. A little bit. Yeah. How did it feel? How does it feel? You got it. Validation. I had this impulse to say, if unborn awareness could speak, what would it say? Something interesting to think about. If unborn awareness could speak, what would it say? Peace? This. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. What's going on? Like, in what way? Like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? Or like, what's going on?
What's going on is the movement from unborn awareness to awareness.
Yeah. The movement, what's going on in terms of the movement from unborn awareness to awareness. Interesting. Do you mean from unborn awareness to like conceptual mind awareness, or unborn awareness to awareness of unborn awareness? Both. Mostly the latter. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. What's going on? It's a good question. Hopefully it's a question that brings us to an experience rather than a story, right? Yeah. Of course, unborn awareness would only ask that kind of question, right? Anyone else? Yeah, Marianne.
So I've always struggled with those instructions about the gaze thing, like have the gaze that's sort of like around you. It's not in any area. It occurred to me this time that for a while, one experience I sometimes have is my eyes have to be open and there has to be some light source. And I do get weird visuals that are sort of like in my skull. Usually it's like a blue Buddha or something like that.
Nice.
And this time I'm like, well, maybe that's the area I should be exploring. But I wasn't sure if that was quite the domain that those instructions are geared towards.
Well, you have the instructions, but then you have like authentic experience of not needing the instructions, right? I mean, it sounds like, okay, so if you're getting an image of a blue Buddha, that's a sign. I think you should explore that. It could be medicine Buddha, it could be Samantabhadra, the all good Buddha, who's like the source. It's like the primordial Buddha. That blue, what kind of blue is it?
It's like indigo.
Yeah.
Darker blue.
Yeah.
Cyan.
Okay. There's a classic in Tantra, in Buddhist Tantra, there's a very important blue. It's like a midnight blue. It's called tingsel in Tibetan. Tingsel. It's like the womb of totality. It's like outer space, inner space. It's this blue-black. It's a blue-black. There are deities that are blue-black, like Trima, the Krodi Kali is this wrathful mother. She's a fierce Dakini. So there's those energies too that are tingsel, this blue-black. But then you also have, it's this primordial Buddha of Samantabhadra. Sometimes you'll see tankas of the primordial blue Buddha in union with his consort, the white female Buddha. So it's like Yabyum, Yin Yang. So sometimes he's shown alone, sometimes he's in union. But he represents unborn awareness. So maybe he's zapping in from outer space saying, hi, come home. What's going on?
It feels like it's been drilled into my brain in a way.
Yeah, maybe you have karma. You have old karma. You've probably spent lifetimes visualizing and doing his mantra. And well, he doesn't have a mantra because he's primordial Buddha. But there's medicine Buddha too. So we could talk more offline. Offline. We could talk a bit more about that. But it feels like you're having visions. So I mean, it depends on what instruction you're coming from. So classically, they'd say, okay, that's a vision. That's might be pleasant. But here we're attending to the breath. You can just recognize it, let it go, then maybe investigate it a little later. Or if you're feeling that you're receiving a darshan, a blessing, a meeting from something important, an energy that's important, then dive into it. Let it wash over you. And we just did Guru Yoga. So feel that energy at the crown of your head and then descending into you and resting. Maybe that energy came again. I know you say you've gotten it before, but maybe it's coming tonight because you opened yourself to the Guru Yoga. So you could invite, you said that it's in your skull, right? It feels like it's in your...
Like it's hard to really explain. It's like, it feels like it's behind my eyes. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fine line, Sometimes we have grace and these things happen. Don't control it, just receive. Other times we have these things and then the mind trips on it and goes into some, story. So just, watch that. You're intelligent and you're an experienced meditator. Just, receive that blessing and extract the essence of that, Maybe there's a teaching there. Yeah. Okay. So tonight I wanted to give, especially the folks who are joining class kind of midstream with these mind training slogans, I wanted to kind of return to the beginning. The beginning is so profound. And if you've come in at slogan 28, 29, you're getting the kind of instructions on how to be in the world with more skill, which is great and very important. But you might not have gotten especially the first 6 or 7 slogans, which are very important. So I thought I would do like a survey just to touch on them to give you a sense of what we are working with when we are doing this beautiful practice inspired by the very profound tradition of Mahayana, this middle phase of Buddhist development that came from India, planted its seeds all around Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Tibet, Japan, China. These are, Vietnam, Vietnam and Korea. These countries really rooted with the Mahayana. And so we are in the land of Mahayana, which means a great vehicle that arose around the 1st century CE in India, and emphasized a quality that was always in the Dharma and always in the Buddhist teachings, also in the Vedas and other teachings as well, within the Hindu and other Jain and other traditions, of love, of compassion. And that became like the central, the jewel, the crown jewel of the Mahayana is we walk the path, we engage in Dharma to be of benefit in the world, not just so we get out of this hell soup, but so we can actually help others do the same thing. That's why that prayer of bodhicitta is done at the beginning of every class, every practice. We remember we're here. Yes, we want to be free of suffering. We want to find peace and live a fulfilled life. But we're also here so that we can then share that with others. Be a good person. Be a kind parent. Not pass on the inherited sanskaras or like karmas onto the next generation. But we can interrupt the cycle in a way and turn towards something more true, which is all of us have this Buddha nature within us. Whatever you call it, spirit, God, Atman, Tathagata Garbha, Buddha nature, whatever. They're all fingers pointing at the same solar eclipse, They're just labels. And that so the Lojong or mind training is couched within this beautiful tradition of Mahayana, and it really took root in Tibet. And the text that we're exploring, if you can, let's all look at it here. The text that we are using is this classic root text. It's called the root text of the 7 points of training the mind by Chekawa Yeshe Dorje. Chekawa Yeshe Dorje is a synthesizer of these early teachings that came from a great master of India named Atisha. Talked about him a lot in this class. He's in my book. He's a very important figure. Buddha Tara was his guru. She came to him in many visions, and so it's a very interesting story. So Atisha brought these Lojong teachings up into Tibet, and they took root and gained in total immense popularity. And that was around the 11th century. About 100 years later, this monk, Chekawa Yeshe Dorje, the story goes that one day he went to visit a friend in a monastery. He was in his room, and he noticed that on the bed, his friend's bed, was an open book. And he looked at it and he read one line. It said, give all success to others, take all failure upon yourself. And that caught his attention. And he wanted to learn more. What kind of teachings would say that? Where does that come from? How do I do that? Why would I want to do that? That's this bodhisattva, this kind of altruistic intention to be of benefit in the world. So turning the instinct of self-preservation on its head and actually saying, hey, you take the fame. I'll take the humility. You take the money. I'll take the poverty. You take the success. I'll take the blame. Like, what would that feel like? I know a lot of people might have a problem with all of that. There's all sorts of reasons why we could say, I'm not going to do that. But for now, in this incubator of this safe space here, and brave safe space, right? In the alembic, be a little brave here. What would that feel like to take the blame? Might not feel good. What would it feel like to let someone else shine and you not having to be the shiny one that day? You know? What would it feel like to praise someone for all the good qualities they have, noticing the gifts that they have, and then when somebody praises you, thank them, but you don't need that. Maybe you don't need that. There's something very regal about that, something very powerful and beautiful about being able, it's humility. How many people have been around somebody with this kind of wise humility and just thought, wow, I want to be like that. It feels good, So Chekawa Yeshe Dorje saw that line, give all success to others, take all blame upon yourself, and thought, I need to learn more about that. So he sought out a teacher who had studied with a student of Atisha, so a couple of generations, a couple of lineage, a couple teachers back, and he synthesized these slogans into this classic text that became very popular, called the 7-point mind training. So in this text, there are 7 chapters. And within those 7 chapters or points are 59 slogans. And they're pointers on how to practice, how to be a good person, how to attain liberation, how to counteract the ego fixation of wanting to me, look at me, and turn that and develop altruism and compassion for others, cherish others and diminish self-cherishing. It's a common kind of pithy teaching of Lojong. Increase cherishing of others, decrease self-cherishing. So if you look at this text, point 1, the preliminaries, which are the basis of Dharma practice. So now we're in this first point. It's very short. And the first thing is, I prostrate to the great compassionate one. So always in these texts they take a moment or two or three to honor their Ishta Devata, you could say, their tutelary deity. And in this case, it's the great compassionate one. Who do you think that is? The great compassionate one in Buddhism. Huh? A Buddha, not the Buddha. Could be, he was compassionate too. Who? Tara, could be Tara, but it's usually Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig. Yeah. Who said Chenrezig? Yeah. Same. Avalokiteshvara is Sanskrit, Chenrezig is Tibetan. It's the male version of Tara. They're like brother, sister. So the great compassionate one in this context is Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion. And so then after praising and prostrating, bowing to Avalokiteshvara, then he dives into the text. The first train in the preliminaries. I won't unpack all of these. We could spend 4 months on just that slogan. But the preliminaries are very beautiful. I'll just list them. The first is to consider, to ponder, to appreciate the human life that you have been given, this precious human life. Don't waste it. And how do we not waste it? We practice Dharma. We develop ourselves. We don't waste this chance with this faculty of the frontal lobe, the developed brain that we have, all the freedoms and endowments. We don't live in a war-torn area. We're not enslaved. We have the freedom to come to class, to practice together, to wake up in the morning, to sit. So the precious human life, that's the first preliminary, to ponder, to contemplate, to meditate on. And then the next one is to contemplate impermanence. Anicca, classic teaching, impermanence. Everything that arises dissolves. Birth and death, it's a part of the cycle. Nothing lasts forever. Our friends become our enemies. Our enemies become our friends. Things are always changing. We don't know, so don't grasp. Hold things lightly. The third is to contemplate cause and effect. Every action has a reaction. Karma. And to appreciate that. Take responsibility for yourself, right? Okay, if I plant poisonous seeds, I'll experience poisonous fruit, and vice versa. So respect karma, think about it. Like in meditation, the instruction is to really think about your life, Think about times when you feel that you have, experienced the fruition of karma, positive, negative, neutral. There are all kinds. It's not just negative karma. It's positive and there's neutral too. It depends on the motivation behind the action, behind the words that determines the outcome of the karma. Positive motivation, positive karmic fruit. And then the fourth is well, there's a few different systems, but death. We have no idea when we'll die. Impermanence and death. And so meditate on death. Marana sati is mindfulness of death. Like, think about it. Like, I could die of an aneurysm right now. So what kind of mental state would I want to be in? Where would I want to be? Do you ever do that in the airplane when the turbulence starts shaking? Like, okay, if I die, what state of mind would I be in? Okay, come on, meditate. Like that. It's that kind of thing, that immediacy. We witnessed somebody have a brain aneurysm in the city on Sunday, Easter Sunday, Kevin and I. It was, I'd never seen that. We found out later, a couple of days later, she died. But we saw that. I saw death. I haven't really seen it like that. It's hidden a lot in our culture, right? She was exactly my age too. The family was there freaking out. I called 911. We were right there, heaven right in front of us. How old is she? 51. I'm 51. Like, any past history of that? I don't know. I thought, wow, what a teaching. So it's not meant to depress us. It's meant to, again, appreciate what we've got. Really use it. Use these opportunities. Honor that. And then we get into point 2. the main practice, which is training in bodhicitta. So now we have a lot of slogans in this one. So bodhicitta has two aspects, relative and absolute. Relative is like all about kindness, loving kindness, being a good person, feeling compassion. But ultimate bodhicitta is emptiness. It's understanding the nature of mind, right? So this is a broad category, and what's really cool about these slogans is they start in the deep end for you guys. After the preliminaries, get your head screwed on straight. Okay, we're in a good place. We're enthused. We're inspired. Now we're ready for practice. Boom, they drop these beautiful slogans. Regard all dharmas as dreams. See the illusory nature of appearances. Investigate them. Is the bell really a bell? Or is it a confluence of causes and conditions that came together? Nothing is as it seems, right? This kind of dreamlike nature of reality. Quantum physics, all of that speaks to these teachings. And then we have the third slogan, which we meditated on tonight. I wanted to give you a taste of it. Examine the nature of unborn awareness. But I don't love this, I need to go look at the Tibetan when I get home, but examine, I don't love the verb examine because it feels like it's a real, like I'm in there and peeling back and pulling apart the machinery and I'm examining something with my head. But really what it is, like we experience, is look and then release the looking and experience what you see and rest in that and stabilize in that. So we do have to use the faculty of the mind, in a sense, to knock on that door, like unborn awareness. I've got the secret password. Let me in. Look and release. So you turn towards it, you gaze. Who is meditating? Who's behind the veil? Who's tired? Who's yawning? Who's bored? Who's hungry? Who's concentrating? Who's blissed out? Look behind the veil. Who am I? Who am I? That's another question that could bring you to this experience of unborn awareness. Again, why unborn? Because it's beyond duality. It's beyond birth and death. It's beyond time. It's that which has always been pervasive, pervading everything. Primordial consciousness. Yene Shepa in Tibetan. Yene means primordial or from the very beginning. Shepa is consciousness. Yeshe, or the longer version is Yene Shepa, consciousness from the beginning. Can you taste that? This is deep stuff. And why do you think they start with this instead of like, be a nice person? Don't grasp at the outcome like we explored last week. Why do you think? Why do we go right here from the beginning?
Peel back the veil of your construct.
Yeah, like right away.
To disown them.
Yeah, absolutely. But why now and why not like more foreplay? Thank you. A+. I mean, she's been studying with me for a long time, so she's paying attention. She's paying attention. This is a great answer, though. But like, what they do is they establish the view. This is the view of Dzogchen, of the great perfection, but also Mahayana, the great vehicle, all of Dharma, really. And if you're ripe, if your karma is ripe for this, you'll get it. You get it. So I love how they give the deep stuff right at the beginning. And if you're ready, you get it. If not, they say it's self-secret, meaning it'll go like right over our heads. Maybe 10 years later, we'll study this again. We'll be like, oh, I'm ready. I get it. the self-secret. So it's not a problem if it's exposed to somebody who's not ready for it. It's fine. Self-secret. No harm, no foul. So examine the nature of unborn awareness. All of this is leading to an experience of emptiness, shunyata. And then the next slogan, self-liberate even the antidote. What is the antidote? Self or naturally liberate, rangdrol is the Tibetan. Well, the antidote is realizing emptiness of self and other. Regard all dharmas as dreams is to realize the emptiness of the external phenomena, external dharmas. Examine the nature of unborn awareness is to realize the emptiness of the mind, the self, the sense of self. We appear, but we're empty of intrinsic existence, a solidly existing selfhood in there. So we've realized we've tasted emptiness. Now the fourth, self-liberate even the antidote. The antidote is emptiness, meaning don't reify emptiness. That's a pitfall. Don't make emptiness a thing and then reify it. You miss the whole point. Emptiness is a quality of experience, a quality of reality. Like wetness is a quality of water, I always say. Like heat is a quality of fire. Emptiness, wetness, right? Emptiness is a quality of reality. Can you hold that view, right? Can you hold that view? When you're racked with pain, when you're racked with pleasure, can you hold the view? Can you experience it all as arising without grasping? Because it's empty of intrinsic existence. Can you be fully in it, but also unattached to it? It's a challenge. It's like advanced work there. And then again, the fifth, rest in the nature of alaya, the essence. Alaya is, again, the unborn awareness. It's another way of saying it, the ground of being, alaya, kunji, right? Kunji Yeshe, they're talking about. The alaya jnana. They're not talking about like the dual ground, which is more associated with earlier teachings. So once you've experienced it, then rest in that nature of alaya. Rest in it. Find repose in it. I'm almost there. I just want to give you this so that then we can pick back up next week with number 29, which is where we are. Then the sixth one is in post-meditation, be a child of illusion. So in post-meditation, so after you've gotten high on your seat and you're blissed out, hopefully, that'd be nice. After you've realized some degree of emptiness, then when you get up from this cushion, can you have beginner's mind? Is another way of putting this child of illusion thing. It's basically, can you be curious? Can you come into the world with fresh eyes, beginner's mind, and know it's illusory? Words are like an echo. Visions are like a mirage. They appear, but they're empty of intrinsic existence. So be a child of illusion. Have that beginner's mind when you're moving about your world. Integrate your meditation with your post-meditation. And then I just want to do the next slogan and then I'll let you go. Number 7 on the opposite page gets us into now studying the relative bodhicitta. So we've just talked and explored absolute bodhicitta, right? Emptiness. Now we're in the domain of relative bodhicitta, which is compassion. Like, okay, how do we not want to kill our ex-spouse? You know, like we thought we were so enlightened and then we went through divorce. Woo, humbling. Okay, number 7. Sending and taking should be practiced alternately. These two should ride the breath. That's Tonglen. That's the whole world opens up to you of sending and receiving compassion meditation, where you have the courage, even just maybe a small inkling of being willing to breathe in the suffering of the other and breathe out the remedy, love, may you be well, prayers, whatever feels good, you offer them with the out-breath. It's a radical thing. It's in line with that one line that Chekawa Yeshe Dorje read in his friend's book on the bed there so long ago. Can you turn your knee-jerk reaction on its axis and actually offer that which you would rather keep, and take in what you would like to get rid of. I'm not saying go out there and literally do that right now. It's a time where you practice, you train up, and then you start to explore how that might feel in relationships and in the world. And then you take it at your own pace. It's a profound practice, and we touch on it from time to time in the guided meditations. So if you keep coming, you'll get to experience this Tonglen practice. Sending and receiving. It works with the breath. Beautiful practice. How many people know Tonglen? Yeah, maybe half. Okay. So that concludes this survey of the first 7 slogans. I wanted to give you that foundation because we have like a room full of half of you are newish. And I wanted to make sure as we kind of click along the latter slogans that you have this orientation. The mind training, it's training the mind. It's training the mind towards more compassion, empathy, understanding impermanence, emptiness, all of that. Mind training. All of Dharma is mind training. All of it. Not just these teachings. All of it. Shamatha, Vipassana, Dzogchen, deity yoga, mantra, all of that is training the mind. Concentration, wisdom, samadhi, even other traditions, yoga, other contemplative traditions, they all have mind training teachings.